Hey there! This building is absolutely mind-blowing. It's so packed with thoughts and questions that your brain might just leap out of your skull. It's a masterpiece, something beyond imagination. It's so incredible that even the esteemed Elon Musk, with his high-tech SpaceX cosmic projects, can't hold a candle to it. He'd need to set aside his handcrafted gadgets to ponder this with us. Creating such splendor with mere digging sticks and stone smoothers without any gadgets or production complexes is impossible. To construct something this complex, we'd need technology even more advanced than NASA's. But before we dive deeper, a little attention to my channel please. I'd appreciate your subscription and a like in advance. Let's go! First, before we get to the good stuff, let's read something a bit dry, the official Wikipedia description. It's not that exciting, but let's give it a go. Then we'll contrast it with Pravin Mohan's words, who, in the best traditions of a battle, will put this official description up against the wall with the question, what's the real truth here? So, the 1,000-pillar temple. This historic Hindu temple in Hanamakonda, Telangana, India is dedicated to Lord Shiva, Vishnu and Surya. Located near the Hanamakonda-Warangal highway, about 150 kilometers from Hyderabad, it's one of the finest and earliest examples of Kakatiya art, architecture and sculpture. Constructed by Rudradeva, it was named Sri Rudreshwara Swami Temple with the deity Rudreshwara in 1163 CE in the style of late Chalukya and early Kakatiya architecture. This star-shaped three-layered temple is a stunning example of architecture and sculpture with 1,000 pillars. With richly carved pillars, perforated screens, exquisite icons, rock-cut elephants and the monolithic dolerite Nandi, it's a testament to the Kakatiya sculptor's craftsmanship and flawless ivory carving technique. The ingenuity of Kakatiya sculptures is evident in things like the lathe and the brilliant polishing in dolerite and granite sculptures, and in the crafts of Navaranga mandala. This description from Wikipedia lacks excitement, doesn't it? Maybe the only interesting bit is the begrudging mention of the lathe. So, what are these anthropogenesis scientists up to? They're like, make a diorite vase with whatever you find. It's like telling Elon Musk to build space program rockets with a hammer and chisel. If these scientists are too lazy to study, they should at least read Wikipedia. It briefly mentions that ancient people worked with lathes, not just chipping away at granite with digging sticks. But that's just half the problem. What about the lathe? It opens up a whole new set of uncomfortable questions. How do you make one? Think about it if someone worked in it. Where does the kinetic energy come from? What about the drives? Could it be that in 1163 there were power stations? Or steam installations? Or water-driven mechanisms? Or maybe wind-driven? That would mean they were independent of electricity, unlike today. And that's not even the whole story. What exactly is a lathe? Turners, are you listening? Would your lathe handle such a cumbersome part as a large column? But we're looking about the year 1162, if we trust official dating, the 12th century. Now, let's hear from Pravin Mohan, who says, hey guys, today we're looking at one of the most bizarre ancient sites in India, the 1,000-pillar temple, which is at least 750 years old. At first glance, it looks like a regular temple. But there's something fundamentally different here, as there are no visible joints between the stone blocks in this temple's walls. It's a big temple, but look closely as I move from the ground to the top. Do you see any joints? This makes people wonder if the entire temple was made from a single solid rock, like the Kailasa temple. But archaeologists confirm that it's actually made of many stone blocks. In 1300, the army of Muslim king Alauddin Khalji tried to demolish this temple, and they removed many stone blocks from the ground and ceiling, as they're easier to dismantle. But they couldn't dismantle the wall blocks. Look at the floor. These are new stone slabs placed by the archaeology department, and you can see how loosely these blocks are connected. Compared to the ancient technique, modern technology seems quite primitive, as the joints are clearly visible. So, why is this temple called the Thousand Pillar Temple? Most visitors wonder why it's known as the Thousand Pillar Temple, as it doesn't have 1,000 pillars. It's named so because it's made of thousands of stone blocks, and that's why it got its name. Even in the most complex temples like the Lapakshi temple, we can clearly see the traces of joints between the blocks. But in this temple, the joints are invisible. Remarkably, no cement, mortar or glue was used to connect these blocks. How did ancient builders achieve such an extraordinary level of connection centuries ago? What technology existed, and how was such a temple built? The basic technology is this. Ancient builders created a complex system of locks with at least a dozen different cuts in each stone block. These complex cuts maximize the surface area shared by connecting blocks and create an extremely tight fit. It's hard enough to do this between two stone blocks, but imagine using several stone blocks from all sides, and how many cuts would be needed to connect 4 or 5 blocks together. I mean, it's just an extraordinary technology. It can be done in wood, but how did they manage to make these cuts in large stone blocks centuries ago? Making these cuts is one thing, but the level of precision to make these joints invisible can only be achieved with modern machines. We can clearly see that building a massive temple without visible joints using primitive tools is impossible. Did ancient builders use cutting, drilling, and polishing tools like today? If so, is there evidence of these tools in the temple itself? What about these carved figurines, resembling modern drilling and polishing tool bits? In most temples, we usually see carved figurines of gods. But in this temple, we see these tools as carved figurines with a conical striped top and a long shaft, remarkably similar to modern tool bits. Just compare these carved figurines with modern tool bits. You've got to agree, there's an uncanny resemblance. This coincidence suggests that ancient builders used tools like ours to create this precise locking system. The pillars in the temple confirm that drilling machines were indeed used. These pillars have very small holes drilled in them. My friend is trying hard to thread a needle through these tiny holes, but they're too small even for a thread. The priest was happy to help. He takes something thinner than a thread and successfully inserts it into these holes. If you think these carved figurines are not drills, how would you explain such tiny holes carved in the pillars? How do you explain the construction of an entire temple without visible joints? Were they created using modern machines or simple tools like chisels and hammers? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. You've got to agree, it's something unimaginable. Such intricate and fine work. Builders, what do you say? Who has more right here? You or the historians? Historians, aren't you curious to learn how such a wonder was erected? It's said that for a mandala 9.5 meters high, 2,556 unique stone sculptures were used. We're always interested in the foundation, right? They say it's 6 meters deep. Can you imagine the size? Is it really a foundation, or is there an entire building underground? That's a big question. No matter how much you search, you won't find evidence that archaeologists have dug that deep and reached the base. So, what do you think about this structure? Do you think it's possible to build something like this with a hammer and chisel? Please write your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd be very grateful for your support. This has been Alba Flacker in my segment on exploring amazing structures. Here, I'm like adding puzzle pieces to the overall picture of the world. I want to convey to you that the history we know now is completely falsified, rewritten and patched up. For who did it? For what purpose? And what divine past are we missing while being blinded by Marvel movies? We have yet to figure out. See you soon.